Hello, my name is Ligaya Figueres. I'm the Food and Dining Editor for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Welcome to this latest episode of our Georgia on My Plate Farm Series, sponsored by Kroger. We're traveling around the state to meet growers and producers, learning about their operations and the products that ultimately end up on our plates. Now, when it comes to crops from Georgia, the state is widely recognized for peanut production. Georgia is the #1 producer for peanuts in the U.S. Today, we're in the heart of peanut country to learn more about this prized legume. We're visiting Longleaf Ridge, a peanut farm that sits on the Flint River in Camilla, Georgia. Led by father and daughter team Glenn and Casey Cox, they cultivate not only peanuts, but also sweet corn, field corn, soybeans, and timber. Casey has agreed to take us on a tour to get a closer look at their operation. Casey, thank you so much for having us today. I know that this farm has a long history in your family. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So our farm has been in the family for over 6 generations, over 150 years. My family has been here in Southwest Georgia on the Flint River.
Tell me what it's like to be a female in a male-dominated industry.
There were several women that came before me that really blazed that trail for me, and I hope that my coming back to the farm and showing that a daughter can do that with her father, as well as some other women in my area that are doing that, I really hope that the next generation of women will have more opportunities in agriculture.
Casey, where does this farm get its name?
We named our farm Longleaf Ridge after the beautiful longleaf pines that are bordering the Flint River on our property. Would you like to see it?
I'd love to.
Let's go.
Casey, this is beautiful.
I wanted to bring you here because the Flint River is such a special part of our farm and our family and our entire agricultural community here in Georgia. And did you know it actually starts at the Atlanta airport? It starts as a small stream right under the airport and then turns into this as it flows down south.
For a crop like peanuts, what are its water requirements?
So peanuts are actually the most water use efficient nut. It only takes about 4.6 gallons of water per ounce of peanuts to grow, as opposed to 70 or 80 gallons of water for some other nuts. Welcome to one of our peanut fields.
Wow, this is my first time in a peanut field.
Well, what would you like to know about peanuts?
Pretty much everything.
Okay, well, we'll start with how they grow. Some people don't realize peanuts actually grow underground because they're a legume. And they grow right here by the root. And the little yellow flowers that you see on the crop, they actually form the bud that then forms the peg that goes underground to form the peanut crop. So we start planting usually in early May, and it takes peanuts about 135 to 145 days to reach maturity. So we're getting really close. This was our first crop that we planted, so we're getting really close to the first stage of harvest, which is digging.
What is your annual production here?
We usually produce about 280 to 300 acres of peanuts, which is equivalent to about 1.6 million pounds of peanuts.
That's a lot of peanuts.
It's a lot of peanuts.
Well, it's a lot more comfortable here in the shade.
We always like to take a break from the August sun.
But I don't want to take a break from talking peanuts. So you showed me the field and everything that happens there until the point that harvesting happens. After that, where do your peanuts go?
So after they leave the field for harvest, they go to our local buying point, which is located in Camilla, and there they're inspected, graded, cleaned, dried. They go through that whole post-harvest process, and they're prepared to go to the next point, which is the peanut sheller. And we're part of a grower-owned peanut sheller based in South Georgia called the American Peanut Growers Group. And that is the entity that is interfacing with manufacturers like peanut butter companies and snack companies who are purchasing those peanuts for their food products.
Now, Casey, you're going to be taking over the farm. What is your vision for the future?
As an only child, I feel like it's so important to build on the incredible foundation that my parents left for me on this farm and this business. And that's why I'm so excited to launch a new branch of the business where we are doing direct-to-consumer, and we're also creating value-added products with our sweet corn and peanuts. So be on the lookout for Casey Morgan's to launch this fall.
That's very exciting news.
Thank you.
Now, one last question for you.
Okay.
Roasted or boiled? Ooh, there's our answer.
Can't go wrong with boiled peanuts.
Cannot go wrong with boiled peanuts. Cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you so much for the tour.
Thank you for coming.
you enjoyed our tour of Longleaf Ridge Farms. We're back from the farm, but peanuts are still on my mind. And Chef John from Kroger has a few ideas on cooking with them. Chef John, it's great to see you again.
Great to be back.
So what do you have planned for today's cooking session?
Today we're going to do a curried peanut shrimp dish, and it's going to be an adult version of peanut butter and jelly because we're going to use orange marmalade in the marinade.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Let's get cooking. You're going to love this recipe. The star of the show is going to be the peanut, but it's going to be a sweet and spicy because what we're going to start with is an orange marmalade, which is going to add a whole depth of flavor to that. So we're going to make the marinade first. We got marmalade, we have orange juice, a little bit of Dijon mustard for a little bit of tang, and then the star of the show, which is the peanut butter. And here's a little tip for you. If you don't want your peanut butter to stick, what you do is just put a little bit of oil in there and it'll come right off. You could put a little bit of oil, just a drip on your spoon, curry powder, and sesame oil. Sesame oil is such a great Asian type flair to it. It's got a nutty flavor to it, very earthy, delicious. Some salt, crushed red pepper, there's the spice, some garlic chili paste, and that's my marinade. You see the peanuts here? That's going to be a garnish at the end, and I'm going to show you a trick on how to do that. We're going to combine everything really well, and then we'll add our shrimp and refrigerate and marinate for about 30 minutes. All right, now that our marinade's done, we're going to move on to the shrimp. When we talk about shrimp, you see 16 to 20 count shrimp. What does that mean? It's actually 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. So if I'm going to be serving 4 people, maybe I want 4 to 5 shrimp per person, I'm going to get 16 to 20 count, and they're a pretty good size. So now we're going to talk about peeling and deveining. Very important food safety tip. If you're going to be working with shrimp out at room temperature, you put it on a little bed of ice. That way you can work with it and not have to hurry with it. So what I'm going to do for peeling and deveining, I'm going to pick a shrimp up, and we have the legs right here. I'm simply going to grab hold of the legs and pull all the way around. The shell's going to come right off. I'm going to reserve it right here and then pinch the tail. When I pinch the tail right at the base, it slides right off. Now, why am I saving those? If I put that in a small saucepan, just cover it with water, bring it to a boil, reduce to a simmer, and cool it down. Now I got a great shrimp stock for another dish, another day. So I want to just run a knife, not too deep, down the back, and that's just going to pull out the vein. And we're just going to remove that right there. Simple and easy. All right, we've had our shrimp and our marinade combined in the refrigerator for about 30 to 45 minutes. We want to do it the day of, not too long, because the acid from the orange juice will actually cook the shrimp, similar to a ceviche. So here's the tip for you. We're going to do skewers. The skewers, you want to make sure that you soak them in water. Why? If I'm going to put them on the grill or put them under the broiler, they're going to tend to burn. So that's a tip that we do, and we're just going to take them out. Now it's time to skewer them. We're finishing our skewering. We're going to do 4 shrimp per skewer, and we're going to do 2 skewers per plate. So as you see, I have my shrimp and marinade here, and my sheet pan, I butt it right up against it. Why? So it doesn't drip all over the counter. We're going to take our shrimp and we're going to skewer it from tail side to head side, move it right down the skewer for enough space to fit 4 of them side by side. We're going to put it in a broiler, which is already preheated, for about 2 to 3 minutes per side. And don't walk away, it's going to go quick. I reserved a 1/4 cup of the marinade before I put the shrimp in, left that aside. When I put the shrimp in the oven, I simply bring it to a boil. I'm going to toss it with my noodles, and it'll be the base of the dish. Now it's time to plate the dish. We're going to do a bed of noodles. You could do rice, you could do siphon noodles, you could do lo mein noodles. We have our skewers. And remember the star of the show, those peanuts? I'm going to show you a tip. Instead of using a cutting board and trying to cut them, they go off the cutting board, sometimes onto the counter on the floor. I'm just going to put them in a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to actually use my peanut butter jar, and I'm just going to crush them right here. A little sprinkle for texture, and then I have some greenery. Look how beautiful. A little bit of scallion and a little bit of parsley. And now we're ready to eat.
Ooh, Chef, this looks peanut-licious. I gotta tell ya, I love your combination of the peanuts with the orange marmalade for a bit of sweet citrus accent.
Thank you.
Well, this was another terrific cooking session, thank you. And thank you for tuning in to our latest Georgia on My Plates episode, sponsored by Kroger. For more stories and recipes from this special series, visit ajc.com. We'll see you next time.